Let's Get It. The new, I keep saying Let's Get It. It's the new Let's Get It. The new Let's Get It talk, sports talk. I'm Doc Bryce. We got Coach Bullock in the building. You know what I'm saying?
What's
He
up?
was
What's up?
live on location, satellite feed, out there at the draft, but he was watching the game too, man. What's your thoughts, Coach?
It's a big win, man. It was a huge win. Embiid, you know what's crazy? And it sucks that I think this way, but I'm just thinking, like, what if he was healthy, man? Like, this wouldn't even be as serious if he was healthy.
He probably had like 7.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. But no, I think that's a big win, man. A much needed win. And I think it gives everybody some confidence that, like, it's not like we're not cursed. Like, we can win. We can do it.
Yes.
Like, the last 2 games have been like a struggle, but we can do it. So, I mean, it's good, man. It's good. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited too. Like I said, I don't know if you caught any of my earlier broadcasts. I said that if we get 2-2, Coach, we got to go to the Garden, man. We got to go to the Garden. Let's get it going live. Going to the Garden, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be live on location.
I'm with it.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah, what are your thoughts?
What was the energy like?
The energy was crazy.
What was the energy like?
The energy was crazy. But the only thing, though, half the building was rooting for New York, man. At different times.
I was gonna say that. You could tell.
You could tell, but a lot of it, I'll be honest with you, is because the ticket prices are so low as compared to New York. So everybody that you see in the Garden, when you watch the game, dogs, they paying like $450 a game to watch that up in the upper deck. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's New York money. You know what I'm saying? So down here, you know what I'm saying? It's like what, 100, 130, 120? That's chump change compared to what they paying. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. You know
what I'm saying? But the only issue I got with them is still like sloppy. They're sloppy with the ball. Pause. But they're sloppy with the ball, bro. They're really sloppy, man. I can't even front, man.
Do you think that's because they don't have a true point guard?
Yes. That's it. I think that's exactly the reason. Like Maxey, he it was one play. I think we are up 10 with a chance to push it back to 12. He drives, he loses the ball. He's always looking for the foul. Yeah. He's crying too much for me. I don't know if they cry that much in Dallas, but I know up here in the Northeast, baby, we about that hard work. You know what I'm saying? It ain't time to be. He's always crying. Play ball, man.
Yeah. And you also got to think about this is his first time being a mainstay in the playoffs. Like he hasn't, last couple of years it's been Harden, Embiid or something like that, where now he's the guy really, playing off of Embiid. So it's new for him, and hopefully he can grow from it and keep getting better from it.
Yeah, it's like on the job training. So I got you right there. Again, like I said, Doc Bryce.
Exactly.
Again, like I said, Doc Bryce. We got Doc Bryce and Coach Bullock here live with the new Let's Get It talk show. Streaming all the time on weekends. But listen, I understand that did you watch the draft? How was the draft?
I've been following it. Yeah, I've been following it.
Any
a couple
highlights?
Surprises. Nothing major yet. I mean, Caleb Williams went number 1. The quarterback from USC went to the Bears, which was everybody knew that was coming. There's been a lot of quarterbacks taken though. The first 3 picks were quarterbacks, which was a little surprising. And then Marvin Harrison, the wide receiver, went 4th to. And then your Giants, they took the wide receiver from LSU, Malik Neighbors. So that that's good, something they needed for sure. I guess the first surprise was the Falcons taking a quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington, when they just paid Kirk Cousins all that money. So I think that was the first surprise. And then from there, the Vikings traded up, took J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. A lot of quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks already in the first round. We're only at pick 20. So the Eagles got 22. The Dolphins are on the clock right now at 21. The Eagles got 22. So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, so that Eagles pick hasn't gone yet.
No, they're 22. We're at 21 right now.
We're at 21 right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'll comment on with the Kirk Cousins thing, and again, like I said, we still celebrating all Sixers, but we also know where we at in this area. So you got a lot of Sixers fans that are still now they're tuning in. They're like, okay, the Sixers is done now. What's up with these Eagles, right? So,
for sure,
but the only thing I want to say though, Coach, is that Kirk Cousins, they paid him because he's the ultimate game manager. He's the new Alex Smith now. He's the ultimate game manager. So that's probably what it is. They're probably going to develop that new quarterback. They know that Kirk Cousins is a short-term solution. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't understand why Kirk Cousins keeps getting all these big deals. I mean, he puts up numbers, but he never wins. And, it's just surprising to me. But good for him. Shout out to him and his agent. They keep doing big things. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he's the he's there to mentor the next guy, and hopefully that's what they're expecting, and hopefully they're hoping that this Michael Penix Jr. from Washington can be that guy that steps in and is the new Aaron Rodgers from Brett Favre, that kind of thing.
Right, and you know what? And shout out to Kirk Cousins just for the simple fact that he accepts that role, right? Like. You know what I mean? Because like at his stage and that age, he could be like, yo, I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody behind me. I don't want this. I don't want that. And he's like, hey, listen, yo, just pay me. He's like, listen, I'll be your game manager. Sign me up. You know what I'm saying? He's okay with it. You know what I mean?
And it's fun. Yeah, and it's funny. I was listening to Cam Newton talk about it, and he was talking about game managers and game changers as quarterbacks. And he said there's about I think he said 4. There's 4 game changers that are quarterbacks, and everybody else is a game manager. So it's like that makes sense, So it was interesting to hear that. So yeah, it's good.
That's good.
We got the Dolphins pick is in. We don't know who it is yet, but then the Eagles are on the clock, so we're almost there.
Okay, what's your thoughts about the Knicks though? Like, where did I hate to keep going back there, and maybe I don't want no Kwame Brown, a la bullying type of accusations with what I'm about to say, but his name is longer the basketball player formerly known as Tobias. Okay. Ass Harris is terrible. He's terrible. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, it's like anytime somebody, it's like the Knicks are like, oh, wait, Tobias is on you? Oh, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Anunoby shooting threes in his face. You know what I'm saying? He can't get no rebound. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Is it a confidence thing, or you think he's just the Sixers are expecting too much from him?
I mean, I think at this point it has to be a confidence thing, because I don't think anybody's expecting too much because he's not giving anything. So it's like at this point, if he were to go out there and score 10 points a game, everybody would be like happy. Like at this point, like because he's giving us nothing. And like you said, they're attacking him now on defense when, I think on the last show we talked about, I was like, his defense has stepped up. So now if he's not playing defense, he's struggling to rebound because their whole team's struggling to rebound.
Right.
And he's not scoring. Like, what are you out there for, man? And I get, why I mean, Nick Nurse is in a tough spot, but like you gotta win games, man. You gotta win games. You gotta figure out who you're putting on the field, on the court, and make sure you win these games.
Right. Now did you happen to catch the part of the game when he had a rotation that didn't include Embiid or Maxey?
I did.
What did you think, a la Doc Rivers?
That's I didn't think Doc Rivers. Because I try to take those memories out of my mind, but
I know that's right.
I did think, what are we doing? Like I was just like, oh, here we go. Like, and it's those kind of things that we as Sixers fans were like, oh, well, that's the end. One mistake and it's over. Like, what are we doing?
Almost like is the moment too big for him? Because you know what? I never really take credence on a lot of people knock Doc, right? Because they're like, well, listen, I would have won a title if you had 3 Hall of Famers and blah, blah, blah. And I get that argument, but I never take credence to that because you still got to get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But when I see something like this, it does make me think about, well, you know what, Nick Nurse? You did have Kawhi. You did have Kyle Lowry. You didn't he have Siakam?
Yeah, I don't. Yes, absolutely.
So you had players, you know, to not overcome, but to cover up your inefficiencies. Like that's what great players do, right? Great players cover up your inefficiencies.
Yeah, and just to back your point even more, I don't think Nick Nurse is obviously, just like Doc is an NBA championship coach. Nick Nurse is one too, but I almost put more behind Doc's championship than I do Nick Nurse's, because if you remember, KD got hurt, Klay Thompson got hurt.
That's true. That is
if
true.
that doesn't happen, right? Kawhi's ball hit that. Hit the rim. You know, the 4 bounces before it goes in the basket against the Sixers.
Right.
So like, there's a lot of what ifs with Nick Nurse's title for sure. But yeah, I mean, I will say that I'm not gonna say in Nick Nurse we trust, but I feel better with Nick Nurse more than I did with Doc.
You do.
I do.
You do feel better. Okay. You know, I do think that I see a little more resiliency maybe. But there was a point in the game where I said, are they giving Joe, and definitely, Coach, keep us posted when the Eagles are on the clock and when they're about to pick.
We're on the clock now. We haven't made our pick
on the
yet.
clock now. Okay. Just real quick, though, there was a point in the game where I think Embiid, you know, told Paul Reed, sit your ass down. I'm staying in the game. I don't know if you saw that, though, right?
I did not see that.
Okay, yeah. He was at the scoring table, and Embiid said, and he went and sat his ass back down. So I don't know if he has that level of control. He is the process. I don't know. I don't like it, though. But you know what? I guess he must have known, like, I'm going for 50. And that's what I'm saying. Shout out to Embiid. But anyway, the Eagles are on the clock, though, Coach.
We got to go back. Wait. I got to go back to something you just said.
All right.
Why him waving Paul Reed back? Why don't you like that? That, to me, that shows, no, I'm in this fight. Like, let's go.
Well, no, it does. But then you got 3 fouls. See, it's a slippery slope because you got 3 fouls and it's still the second quarter.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay.
So you know, sometimes it's you know, you do have to take a chance, though, right? But
yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying with that. Yes, right. I agree with that.
But if he does something dumb, and let's say that Euro with that knee ain't working right, that would have been another foul on him, another offensive foul, and then now what? Now he got 4 fouls going into before the half. So that's why I didn't like it too much, whatever. But but it worked out for us. So that's good. That's good. But talk to us about the Eagles. What do you think the needs are?
So the needs are definitely either defensive line, offensive line, or cornerback. And I think Howie's strengths are drafting on the offensive and defensive line. I think when they get to the he hasn't, obviously, because we need him. He hasn't done a great job drafting cornerbacks. But you know, there's a couple out there. I think there's a kid from Toledo. I think Mitchell, who's a top cornerback available. A lot of people, though, and I don't understand this, are thinking they need to get like another wide receiver. And I don't know if I can agree with that. They just signed AJ Brown to an extension, so he just got paid as well. We talked about Devontae getting paid. So I'm not sure. Like I think they should. I would like for them to go defensive line. They lost Hassan Reddick. Even though one of the rushers from Penn State, Chop Robinson, he just got picked by the Dolphins the pick before. So I don't know. We'll see. There's a bunch, and then there's another kid from Florida State that got picked they were looking at. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what they're going to do here. I still wouldn't be surprised if they traded the pick. because I hope they don't. I think they need to get as many players because they still have a lot of holes. So I think they need to get as many players that can possibly work out for them as possible.
So to kind of maybe trade up to get a player that could kind of shore up the offensive and defensive line. Which one you think is in more repair or more need? I personally think the defense, like you said, the defensive line, you lost a lot with Hassan Reddick gone. I'll be honest with you, at a certain point, I can't necessarily pinpoint where exactly, but in the season, but there was a point where the Eagles, they wasn't getting that front push no more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
And I think I'm not sure why that was though, because they had a very talented. I think of some of their guys didn't play as, especially those guys from Georgia that they were thinking the Nolan Smiths, the Jalen Carters were supposed to kind of dominate. They had decent seasons. They're young though. They're young, so hopefully the more they get to play, that changes. But I agree. I think the defensive line is definitely more of a need than the offensive line. Even with Jason Kelce retiring, you got Cam Jurgens, who you drafted a few years back, who's going to move into that center spot. They do need a guard. So some people are thinking that they might do the draft, like the best tackle available, put him at guard until Lane Johnson's done, and then move him to tackle. But I think at this point, you just go with the best defensive lineman or offensive lineman that's available.
Right. That's but now this player is gonna have to come in, and I think it's a little different. And again, I would always defer to you when it comes to college football. In particular, because I know that you're definitely more knowledgeable than I am at that. But my thing is now when they're coming out of college with football players, sometimes with basketball players, we know that sometimes they're prepared to make an immediate impact, but then sometimes they need a couple of years. So is that the same thinking when it comes to football, or is it a little different?
I mean, I think we've seen some guys that have come in and had immediate impacts, even on the offensive line, defensive line. But I think for the most part, I think it's an adjustment. I think the length of the season, they're playing 17 games now. College, they're playing 12. If you make it all the way through, you might get to 13, 14. So I think that's a big adjustment. And then just like you're playing against NFL guys, right? So now it's the rigor of it. It's the and adjusting to being a pro in any sport is always different. So I think it's definitely not easy. There's definitely some few special guys out there that can do it. And I think that's why you see so many quarterbacks struggle, because it's a total different speed of the game, because everybody out there, like when Georgia goes and plays Alabama on the field at any time, there's probably 10 pros. But now when the Commanders play the Titans, there's 22 pros on the field. So like
Right. So like, there's no Rudies out there, huh? Rudies from Notre Dame.
There's no Rudies. There's no Rudies in the NFL. There's no Rudies in the NFL. Everybody's the offensive lineman that Rudy beat in the NFL. They're just ready. Everybody's ready to take them out.
Right. I got you.
So I got you. The pick is in, but we don't know who it is yet. But they've done something. We just don't have the info yet.
Okay. All right. So now is that and shout out to everybody that's out there watching the draft. Listen, I never knew that up until recently, and shout out to my homeboy Fresh and Dante Howard and all those Pennsgrove cats that's down there watching the draft party. I never knew that people have like college football, NFL draft parties, bro. I never knew that. This is a big thing.
I'm into college football. I like the draft. I like the first round of the draft. After the first round, I'm kind of out.
Sure.
But it's a big deal. People get all hyped up about it. But we have the pick. It's Quinion Mitchell. He's a cornerback from Toledo. Best cornerback. They graded him a 92 overall for the draft. 6 foot, 195 pounds. So they got a cornerback there, that could be replacing Darius Slay.
Okay.
As they're saying, he might be gone, but I think I think it's a good pick. Having
Okay.
more secondary help is always useful in this NFL where everybody's throwing the ball all over the place.
Okay. Let me pause that, please. My gosh, throwing ball all over the place. That was a little wild, but it's all good. Yo, but check it. Yo, that was a little crazy. It's all good. It's all good. But listen, now with now, listen, do they get more than one pick, or usually the teams that are top heavy, they don't really get that many picks like that?
No, so the Eagles right now have they have this first round pick, number 22, and then I believe they have 2 second round picks through trades that they've had throughout the years. And then I don't think they have a third round pick because of trades. And then they have a good amount of picks. So yeah, they have a bunch. So the first round is tonight. Rounds 2 and 3 are tomorrow, and then round 4 through 7 are Saturday. So
got you.
It's an event.
Got you. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Any closing thoughts, real quick?
I got a question.
It's definitely.
I got a question.
Go ahead,
for
Coach.
You. What? So I was listening. I was in the car early in the game, or early in the second half, listening to legendary Tom McGinnis, and he was talking about bricking for chicken. What was it before it was bricking for chicken?
Oh, it was Wendy's Frosty.
Frosty what? What'd they call it?
It was the Frosty Freeze.
That's
the
what
Frosty
it was.
Freeze.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember what it was. All right.
No, it was the Frosty Freeze.
Yep. Okay. I couldn't remember what it was.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jason, I stand corrected, because you know what? Before the Frosty Freeze, it was the Big Mac. It was like the Big Macs or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Or whatever. Or if they got over 100 points, you got like free Big Macs.
I remember that. Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
But that was when they won only that was when they was winning only like 8 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that was back then.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? Yep.
But listen, what's your final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Good win for the Sixers. I think it gives them some momentum. I liked how Jalen Brunson was able to score and we were still able to win the game. So I think that gives us a lot of confidence. But no, I think we're in a good spot, and I'm looking forward to Game 4.
Game 4. Listen, like I said, I think my final thought is just, you know what? It's a great day to be a Sixer. I'm excited. We really should be up 2-1, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And he put onus behind his words. Okay, at least he started. So he said we're gonna win this series, and he came out with a 50-piece, and he looked a lot better.
Yeah.
He looked a lot better. Okay, so I look forward to Game 4 on Sunday of the first round. Basketball playoff series between the New York Knicks and the 76ers. This is Doc Bryce. That's Coach Bullock. Just want to come to give you just a quick I keep saying the new Let's Get It Sports Talk show. I want to give you a quick update. We'll be coming back to you on Sunday. Whether we're going with a show or update, we'll definitely have either one or the other. Because I do got to go to Florida. My pops, I'm gonna ride with my pops down there. He's getting a little older, so I said, well, I'll take the ride with him since I can't. I could ride. I can't drive, but I can't drive that far. You know what I'm saying? But I could ride with him, so I'm gonna ride with him down there. So, but anyway, like I said, we'll catch up. I am Doc Bryce. That's Marcus Bullock, and you know what? We'll catch you later. I'll see you later, Coach.
All right, y'all.